in their spot for the knockout stage with that victory there. Of course, again, the race is still on for the final 3 spots. Going to be hard to top a 15-kill game put together by Peanut, but I'm sure these teams are going to try. Jat, I want your prediction down the line here. Who do we think is going to take it, TSM, WE, and why?
This is tough. I mean, both these teams lost to the Marines and SKT, and COD taught me last year that NA performance is inversely proportional to expectations. And I have a lot of hope right now. So I'm going to ignore that rule because hope is where the heart is. But generally speaking, they beat WE beforehand. I think they've cleaned up a lot in their gameplay, at least today. Sven Skaren is playing better. And if he doesn't die in the early game, Bjergsen is active. Same story as against G2. Not to mention they've already beaten WE once. I got to go TSM.
We got TSM Jat 2 games in a row on the day. Papa Smithy.
Why are we only predicting these 2 games? We're setting me up or something.
I know, we're setting you up for it. Anyway, Papa Smithy, what do you got for me?
I mean, I was on the TSM hype train earlier, but I'm actually going to take a left turn. I'm actually going to say WE here. I think largely, and you even seem surprised for us, Kieran.
I 100% am surprised.
Honestly, I've seen WE's early games when they've looked polished, look great, and I think that's the sort of early game that can take TSM off their chops, and if they go for hyper carry, that hasn't worked for them either. So I'm looking for WE to clean things up. I feel like if they can do that, they should pick up the victory. So going with my heart says WE.
All right, well then you're the tiebreaker, but you got a surprised look on your face when he says Team WE, so I have a feeling I know where you're going.
Okay, to preface it, basically, if both teams played at their best, I think that Team WE would win. I think they had a bot lane that went through Uzi. They have a mid laner who specializes in absorbing pressure from superstars. We've got Rookie, and CA knows how to deal with that.
I heard an if there, though, Frosker.
We have the best jungler in the LPL. But, and the if, unfortunately, I think TSM are going to play closer to their standard of highest domestic than Team WE. They're just way too inconsistent right now. They're all over the board. I don't know what to expect from them. And I feel like I got a good read on TSM right now, and they have a good read on themselves.
Within this tournament, you're more confident with the way the TSM is playing.
Currently,
All right, that's enough out of us because we got to get to our final game of the day. So let's send it over to Quickshot and the guys.
Thank you very much, Dash. I am joined by the guys, Gandalf and Frodo. We're about to jump into the
hold your horses there, Gollum. All right, game coming up here. WE versus TSM. Azale, what do you think right there, man?
I mean, we already got the play-by-play, so.
Well, look, it is my precious to introduce Champ Select as we're about to jump into Team WE and TSM. Earlier today, TSM picked up a pretty convincing win.
Yeah.
NA greater than EU. They punished G2's mistakes over
Not
and
even
over.
close.
Will they keep that flow going?
Let's not dwell on the past, guys. I think that's important here.
It's good to live in the present here, Crepo. And let's talk about the draft, because to me, I think so much of TSM's success has been decided by the pick and ban. I think that they have, defaulted to some pretty poor strategies for their strengths, and I think that top lane has been pretty exploitable throughout MSI. I want to see TSM drafting to their strengths. Give the picks to Hanser.
Will Hanser be good on anything other than Kennen and Rumble? Kennen's already been banned out, and we got to see what happens next.
Also, is 957 going to pick a horrible Jace matchup against Dumpster, leaving Team WE also with a tankless composition? Because that is how TSM exploited that matchup last time. So that's definitely something we need to keep an eye on.
It is. I mean, you can see both teams with a lot of focus here on top lane. The Ivern obviously has been taken away. Sven Skaren's other preference would be Lee Sin. We'll see if TSM is willing to give that over to Condi.
I would almost want to see like a range support ban here by TSM. And then they can trade one range support for the Lee Sin. Get that one. The problem is they have been playing Braum Panda only, and they don't really want to buy into that range support meta.
Karma and Lulu available.
Yeah.
Ivan was banned away, so it looks like they're going to steal the Lee Sin from Sven.
And I mean, the one problem with this for TSM is they're not a team that really wants to play double shielding support.
Yes,
GA
exactly.
will play one of the others. So, if you take Lulu and you don't take Karma, you could see GA pick up that Karma for bot lane or for mid lane.
Now they have to steal the Lulu away, not because it's a great champion, but because otherwise W is doing exactly what you just said, Azale. They run double shields, aggressive jungler, you can match that in the early game, and they'll just play entirely around Mystic. That is a strategy TSM have tried once around Wild Turtle, but it didn't work. Not because, in my opinion, Wild Turtle was the problem. It was actually in that game that Hanser and Svensson were dropping the ball.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But that said, I don't think it's playing to TSM's strengths to run those sorts of compositions. So I would prefer to see, more solo lane focused game.
And to get that, you can also just focus on getting mid-prio somehow. It's quite hard into the Karma Flex though. That would mean you'd have to pick maybe Talia on the side of Bjergsen, then double ban some strong matchups against it, forcing that you can always push mid, and then you counter pick your top lane as last. I think that would actually be a decent big ban.
And Talia, you know, that's the run back from their original series. It was Talia for Bjergsen versus Xie on that Karma, and Bjergsen was able to have so many strong Weaver's walls, not even about the...
And Team W are completely online. Of course, they can start to play this 1-3-1 if they want to in the not-too-distant future.
They're actually going for a 1-1-3 here, it seems. Mostly because Xie wants a blue buff before he moves to a side lane. Also, you can play when you're this far ahead. Generally, you don't play 1-1-3 because you will get punished somewhere else, but Xie can always join any other side. You know, he can go really fast from mid to top or from mid to bot. And this way, TSM will need to defend the bot lane tier 2 turret pretty soon, because that seems to be the target for WE.
I'm looking at the minimap and I see Team WE still quite split up, trying to redefine their lane assignments. But look at the amount of warding. Team WE had about 4 wards in that top quadrant of TSM jungle, and pushing fairly safely here. No reply from TSM.
Yeah, moving the vision down to TSM's blue side, like Mitch said, it's saying they want to go for this turret. One thing Galio does have, though, from behind as a tank is pretty good wave clear, and pretty safe wave clear, because he does have that range Q to toss out. That said, you know, this is a kind of a team fight composition for TSM, so you have to feel like to get back to this game, they need to get some sort of a fight.
They need to get him on the run, and maybe they can use a teleport ward in the bottom lane that's being placed, or that control ward. I see Trevor, like, waving his fist in the air. You too saw that ward, right, Trev?
I did indeed. Condi's been caught up by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and Biofrost Wild Growth will not find a target to knock up. TSM.
Beautiful.
Now they're going to get closed off from the mid inner.
Yeah, you lure him to the bot lane, but it's a trap because 957 is setting up the secondary wave. WE is constantly playing on at least 2 lanes. That is the main mistake teams have made at this tournament when they play 1-3-1, is that they make the map too tiny.
They have it. Heroic entrance comes down by some time for Sven to escape. Not before he's burned alive. Wild Turtle's forced to flash and heal his way to safety. WE get the tower and a kill.
Xie played that fight so well, forcing Turtle out from the side. He finds the angle, hits all of his shards onto Turtle, and Turtle just has to blow both summoners and get out.
This pressure here, WE, I love the way they found a way to get 957 back into the game. You know, Hanser got the teleport advantage, got the TP back down. He got a few kills and assists, and it all looked really good for TSM snowballing, but they couldn't capitalize off this bot lane pressure.
And this was the Team WE that we come to expect from the LPL. When they get a lead, they know how to snowball it ahead and accelerate it very, very quickly.
You kind of have to wonder, though, what is Svenskeren thinking? Walking up to that turret that has less than 10% HP into melee range, gets fished. I mean, this is not something you can defend, and we see these players making these kind of mistakes throughout the whole tournament.
Yeah, these players, and Svenskeren in particular, making it 5 out of his 6 games, maybe you could, you know, even question it. What was he thinking? 0-3-1 on this Kha'Zix. Decent start.
Probably was thinking he could defend the turret. Was wrong, though.
Well, you know what Thought did?
Yeah.
Got you killed by Team WE.
So you never think, you just do.
React.
Do it or not, there is no think, right?
Yeah, that's right, Yoda. 957 doesn't find a target with Chum the Waters. Another buff stolen away. Team WE have had control of TSM's jungle for the majority of this game.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're going to go for the same pattern here. Put the Caitlyn top with the support of the team, force TSM to walk top lane, and then pivot back to mid lane, zoning with the Weaver's Wall, and get the second mid lane turret right there.
And I certainly think they can. I mean, they have so much more pressure than TSM right now, and Turtle a little bit wide on that arrow. Just look at the experience advantage. Like, that is somewhat problematic. When you look at AD carries, when you look at top laners, experience means so much in League of Legends, and WE is controlling the map. They're farming the jungle camps. They're having better wave control, and they're getting edges everywhere.
Can we talk about the arrow, though?
What would you like to talk about?
I don't know. What's that? I have another color here. I don't know what
it was wishful thinking.
Yeah.
I looked at the minimap. I thought maybe Realm War.
Yeah, okay. No.
But,
I accept that, actually.
But it was optimistic, I think. Which is ironic, because it was onto Mystic. But
not onto Mystic.
Did not hit Mystic, and that means he survives. I'm looking down the items really quickly, as is my prerogative. Infinity Edge almost completed for Mystic. Abyssal Scepter Haunting. Guys, for Shia, getting closer to Trinity Force for 957. He's already terrifying, and that's just going to be another switch.
And I think the item completions for Caitlyn is such an important thing to point out, because Caitlyn is supposed to be this weak champion in the mid game before you get your 2-3 items, and Ashe is supposed to be the kind of time that you're dominating now. With the Blade of the Rune King completed, you're very strong, and they haven't been able to really get anything done.
Well, they haven't. 957, however, has 3-0 and 2 of his team's kills. The inner turret in the bottom lane is the focus here for WE.
You have to always, if you're TSM fan, this is what you want to see. You want to see them group. Even though they have a lot of poke, this is where WE top is the weakest. When they're all on the same lane and nobody is prepping the secondary lane to rotate to.
Well, Team WE was so good earlier. They simply have very few objectives left to steal here from Team WE.
That was really nice from Bjergsen. As soon as he hears the Weaver's Wall being cast with that global sound, he gets out of there immediately. You can't wait till you already see him or you'll be stopped.
Yeah, there was a few nice map moves by TSM. Mystic has to flash right now. That was not an optimistic arrow. That was actually a great one. We saw also earlier Svenskeren hiding in the bush, trying to attack 957, ganging up with Hanser on him to attack the side lane. So TSM attacked the side lane, forced W to group, then dragged it back to the other lane, forced some ultis and used Realmore to disengage, and now got a major flash. For the last 2 or 3 minutes have been played very well by TSM.
And with flash down on that AD carry, TSM can look to posture around the Dragon because that does make the Caitlyn much more vulnerable to something like that Realm Warp setup or the Kha'Zix plus Galio combo.
Kha'Zix plus Galio is the winner.
All right, Condi and Mystic, they get knocked up by the Wild Growth. Svenskeren is exhausted once again. Mystic survives. Still hasn't finished that Infinity Edge, but is putting down a lot of hurt onto TSM. Bjergsen gets one with the Rune Prison and the Overload. Finds a double kill. Turns back towards Sheer. Hanser, unfortunately, doesn't connect to the Justice Punch. And 957's running for his life. The Dragon is the focus for TSM.
And that was exactly what they were looking for. They don't get to kill a Mystic, but he's pushed out immediately because he has no summoners. So great job by TSM capitalizing on that fact, getting a one fight, and the Dragon buys them another lease on life.
Yeah, what a great sequence of events. It honestly all started in the bottom lane, then that arrow from Turtle forcing the flash here, and here Mystic. This is just not smart at all. Really nice combination with the Wild Dwarf. Galio isn't even here, but if you can force team fights and you're the one initiating against a 1v1 composition, you generally should be stronger. Look at the havoc Bjergsen causes in the left side of that fight.
As that Rise starts to get stronger and stronger, hitting these item completions, I mean, we've seen a lot of Rise games carried by Bjergsen. If you think back to even Worlds against RNG, it was like Bjergsen versus the world in some of those games and nearly managed to carry it.
Well, TSM are going to need another performance like that because they're still in a very big hole. It's